So this is the Kunjed Gyalpo, translated by Jim Valby, chapter 25, called Phenomena Are Just Thatness. So it says, then the all-creating monarch, pure perfect presence, spoke this teaching that sentient beings of the three realms are his presence, the teacher of teachers. Oh, so this is maybe related to what we were talking about. Sentient beings are the people who are suffering. So let's see. He says, hey, all sentient beings of the three realms. The pure perfect presence of each being concretely displays the teacher. For thousands of aeons, beings have not recognized that their presence is the teacher. So I, the all-creating monarch, directly manifest their presence as the teacher. Listen to my teaching that your presence is the teacher. I, the all-creating monarch, am pure perfect presence, the cause of everything. From this, the nature of presence manifests as the five elements. The teacher, pure perfect presence, manifests the five Buddha families. Kaya means Sambhogakaya, the dimension of perfect pleasure, or perfect enjoyment. Dharma explains through the nature of each element. The teacher displays the essence of each element. The state of those Sambhogakaya teachers does not conceive its state in the state. What? Let me read that back. The state of those Sambhogakaya teachers does not conceive its state in the state. Yeah, they say state too much, but with awareness it makes sense. So awareness is not conceiving of itself. Basically, it's not making an object.
I told you, state just doesn't work, does it?
The three states got me. I was ready for one of them, I guess.
United States of Dzogchen.
Very nice. So without creating concepts about some other objective phenomena, the five teachers of pure perfect presence display all phenomena as the real condition, just thatness. The earth teacher manifests from the wisdom of pure perfect presence. The earth teacher does not use words and syllables to teach, but teaches by using its own essence. Because there is no concept of self and no concept of other, the earth teacher displays the state of non-conceptual equality. Any sentient being of the three realms who understands this state has the same recognition as all Buddhas. That real condition, which practitioners hope to realize through struggle, is already effortlessly self-protected. Yeah, so like we've been reading in the other chapters, whatever manifests is ultimately presence. And so by virtue of its arising, it is teaching its own nature. And this is irrespective of whatever content the phenomena would bring to conceptual mind, whatever concepts would be made from it, which are not inherent to the phenomena. They are things that are added on after the fact, whether you enjoy it or not, whether it's good or bad. Those are labels that are added to the phenomenon. The phenomenon is pure. So it says, the wisdom of pure perfect presence manifests as the kaya of the water teacher. The water teacher does not teach using words and syllables, but teaches through its own nature. The water teacher displays the state of non-conceptual equality, with no concept of self and no concept of other. Any sentient being of the three realms who understands this state, say recognizes this presence, has the same recognition as all Buddhas. Phenomena with which practitioners struggle are already self-perfected. So the same with the fire teacher. The fire teacher does not teach using words and syllables, but teaches through its own nature. The fire teacher teaches the state of non-conceptual equality, with no concept of self and no concept of other. Any sentient being of the three realms who understands this state has the same state as all Buddhas. The real condition with which practitioners struggle is already self-perfected. And this wisdom of pure perfect presence manifests as the kaya of the air teacher. The air teacher does not teach with words and syllables, but teaches through its own nature. The air teacher displays the state of non-conceptual equality beyond dualistic concepts of self and other. Any sentient being of the three realms who recognizes this presence has the same recognition as all Buddhas. Phenomena with which practitioners struggle are already effortlessly self-perfected. Yeah, Dago.
This is pretty fascinating. I feel like where it says the wisdom of equality, you could stick the five wisdoms in there for that correspond with each of the elements. But isn't this exactly what we were talking about too?
Yeah.
How the environment is ultimately a kind of teacher, and yeah, amazing stuff.
Yeah, it's a nice pointing out of the five wisdoms corresponding to these five elements. And I don't remember where we left off, but somewhere in here. This wisdom of pure perfect presence manifests as the kaya of the space teacher, who does not teach using words and syllables. And so if this is interpreted like that way, saying as the wisdom, this wisdom does not arise conceptually. It's that subtle layer that's always underpinning. At first subtle, and then when it stops being covered up, increasingly obvious. And it doesn't teach using concepts, meaning it doesn't present information. You are not gaining information. So the space teacher teaches through its own nature and does not teach the duality of self and other. The space teacher displays the state beyond categories. These directly manifest teachers give teachings through their own individual natures. Through these teachings, understand all phenomena. Hey, all sentient beings who wander in the three realms, which is, of course, form, desire, formless. I, the all-creating monarch, created all of you. Thus, you are my children and are equal to me. Because you are me and are not other than me, I directly manifest to you. My nature as the five teachers are five types of essence, but are one. This one is me, the all-creator. Have confidence that you are the same one. And not just you, all sentient beings. And so earlier we were talking about compassion. Well, ultimately, all sentient beings are embraced by the same presence, are the same presence. And so, just in your own experience, how all phenomena, everything that arises, can be embraced like that. You can have a feeling when you relax, when there's rest. That rest is on the basis of allowing the compassion that's naturally present within awareness to flourish. It's already there. Rest and compassion are the same thing. There's no rest without compassion. There's no compassion without rest. So, familiarizing with this is familiarizing with the basis, not just for yourself, but for everyone, for everything. So, would they not rest too? Does the environment not rest when you rest? Hmm? It's this idea of an externalized conceptual reality that props it up as something that's separate from your rest, separate from your compassion, that requires the compassion to be directed. That's just conceptual masking. This is why the bodhisattva ideal can be fulfilled within Dzogchen. You don't have to give that up. You just see the actual basis for it, and it's your actual experience. Hey, all you sentient beings of the three realms, since I do not exist, you also do not exist. Because you do not exist, the five teachers never manifested. They never taught the non-conceptual teaching. Thus he spoke. So from the 10 Lung teachings about effortless perfection, this concludes the 25th chapter about how one's presence is displayed. And once again, great synchronicities. It's nice that it's happening even with this text. So any comments or questions? Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Yeshi. Thank you, Dawe. Thank you, Sangha. Yeah, Victor.
Yeah, hey Dorje, thanks for the reading. I could you get in a little bit into how he says they never taught the non-conceptual teaching, like why does he use this expression, you feel?
Hmm. Well, before it was said that it is taught, and now it's said that it's not taught. Teaching,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Because when I hear it, like I don't conceptually understand like this last paragraph right there, but like intuitionally, like, it makes sense, but like rationally it doesn't. But you know, on the on a deeper level, I know it's true.
Yeah, Dawe says perfect. I agree. And Yeshin also says perfect. Yeah, so you already know what it's saying. Isn't that nice?
You know,
Yeah, the page, just the page I had on Instagram was called Electric Intuition.
Oh, like your Instagram name? Yeah, Dawe, did you want to say something?
well, growing up around Vajrayana Tibetan Buddhism, whenever somebody gave the lung, like the reading of these teachings, it was usually a big deal. It would be like a Rinpoche Lama that was accomplished or something like that. And everybody would be in a frenzy to get these transmissions, these lungs, as Vajrayana people will know. Here we just set out, started to explore the text sort of without any consideration or emphasis on that. But somehow the texts have come alive in our gatherings. And now when you're reading the text, there is a lung happening. There is a transmission. It is alive. You can hear the heart in the text exploration. So I just thought that was fascinating. And it's incentive for all of us that when we're hearing somebody like Dorje Lekpa or anybody who's going through these texts who has, you can actually intuitively catch that it has a feeling to it.
Oh, thank you, Dawei. I also get the lung.
That's right. Whoever's reading it is totally getting the lung. Yeah, we're going lung crazy around here, Tashi. Well, that's what they talk about Nangsi so much, right? In the Mahayana Sutras and the value of reading just one scripture or one piece of Dharma. And they talk about that a lot. But we never wanted to turn that into a belief and just artificially subscribe to that. It just came alive like that. But it's beautiful incentive for us to respect the teachings and you know, we obviously don't really have that problem at all in these gatherings, but I'm saying the sanctity there is beautiful. Okay, yeah.
Oh, I read slowly. Oh, very good. Well, it's also nice that, you can ask questions at any point.
Dorje, is it ultimately true that nothing exists? But because nothing exists, then everything exists also. Is this kind of basically it?
Now, remember, it's like a dream. Things don't exist in the same way that a dream doesn't really have substance. So if you're dreaming of a beach ball, does that beach ball exist? Well, it's appearing. You see a beach ball, but there's nothing to it.
For me, it makes sense because I had a teacher that talked about like how some guy studied the atoms, and at the ultimate level, we basically never touch each other, and the closest thing we get to touching someone is our mother, basically in the womb, because these atoms don't crash. So it makes sense to me.
No, he says he's picking up good vibrations. Because the atoms are vibrating.
And because of the Beach Boys.
Oh, that too. It works on both levels. Yeah, very nice. Even with materialism, if you go and examine materialism, these beliefs, it's ultimately phenomena that are still expressing the same nature of reality. So at some point, the information content will be siphoned out, and what will be left will just be your actual experience. And then you'll have to look at it. So, in Sutrayana, they start by examining, they break down phenomena. So you don't have to do that because you can stay at the course level and just notice how it's behaving, what its nature is. But if you do that, like you're saying, breaking down the atoms, then great. No problem. It can be nice to do that with sensations. Sensations have less of an idea component behind them.
Yeah, sensations are even more subtle, right? I just gave the example of the what this teacher said because of it's one of the things that I can relate to when I hear emptiness, like this explanation of the atoms and how we actually don't touch at a more deeper level, physical level. It makes sense for me, the concept of emptiness. Okay, I'm saying makes sense too much, but it's like just it helps me.
Yeah, emptiness does make logical sense, and you can understand it like you're saying. But just remember that it's only talking about this presence. And so to really understand emptiness, it's just familiarization with this presence. That's the way to understand emptiness. And that way says views of emptiness can't help you.
Yeah, I gotta tend to the doggy stuff, but Dorje Lekpa, please have a safe travel and everything. And I really wish everything smoothly for you and your partner getting to this new destination, okay?
Oh, she's staying here. I'm going by myself.
Oh, what are you just scouting it out or something like that?
Yeah. Her health isn't good enough to travel, so she wanted to stay home.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, then I'll definitely be wishing you the best, and we'll probably see you around here soon.
Yeah, hopefully. As soon
Yeah.
as I can.
Yeah, you'll be here. But I know all of our well wishes are with you during the traveling and everything.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, lots of love, you guys. It's just been another heartfelt session. Really amazing.
Any other questions, comments?
But Dorji, could I just ask you please to repeat what you said about emptiness? Is it more of a need of just allowing it or not? Of course, not conceptually proliferating on it, but just relaxing into it.
Hmm. Well, first, don't make emptiness into such a big deal because it's just describing your current experience. So it's not something different than what's happening now. You're not going to learn something new. What's happening now, so to speak, is that in this presence, there's nothing substantial. Nothing really is solid or gets pinned down or exists outside of presence. Because it can't be pinned down, it's ineffable. That's said to be empty. Remember, there are three ways to talk about emptiness from the three turnings of the wheel. There's emptiness of self, there's emptiness of object, that corresponds to arhats and bodhisattvas. And then for Vajrayana in the third turning, there's what's called other emptiness, which is that whatever arises, the presence, is empty of anything else other than it, which is like a positive assertion. And what that's referring to is the presence, this presence. So the emptiness in Vajrayana isn't a lacking. It's not this conceptual destruction of labels. It's presence. So the way of abiding is essentially describing emptiness.
Thank you, Dorje, for the explanation.
Sure.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's really the strength of Vajrayana. Oh, thanks, Dundra. I probably won't be gone that long. All right, anything else? All right, then let's dedicate. So, any freedom we may have gathered here today, there are sentient beings in this presence that are suffering. We can be with them in a moment of silence. Thank you, everyone.